From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, October 1st. A cold front is going to pass through the state heading into this weekend, sparking up some showers for Saturday and Sunday. Should be scattered in nature tomorrow and a bit more widespread on Sunday, with highs in the mid to upper 70s all throughout the weekend. So today is your dry day. Pharmaceutical company Merck says its experimental COVID-19 pill reduced hospitalizations and deaths by half. This was breaking news just into our newsroom this morning. They say that is in people recently infected with the coronavirus. The results have not been peer-reviewed. The company said it would soon ask health officials in the United States and around the world to authorize its use. Merck's drug would be the first pill shown to treat COVID-19, a potentially major advancement in the efforts to fight the pandemic. Democratic disagreements detour an infrastructure bill, slowing one of the Biden administration's top priorities. Overnight, the fracture in the party forced House leaders to call off a vote on the $1 trillion measure. It's fallout from the connections between the three urgent issues lawmakers are trying to handle: infrastructure, the budget, and the debt ceiling. Progressive Democrats want to pass the $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation first. They want the social programs in the Biden administration's plan to be locked in before dealing with roads, bridges, and other infrastructure issues. House leaders have the issue on the agenda again today. At the same time, infrastructure was dividing one party. All sides came together long enough to avoid a government shutdown. President Biden signed a resolution that the House and Senate scrambled to approve yesterday, providing enough funding for the government to run through at least December 3rd. The short-term bill does not address the third urgent matter in front of Congress, the debt limit. Republicans insist that it be handled in its own measure, not through the budget process. This week, the Treasury Secretary explained what would happen if the debt limit does not change by October 18th.
At that point, we expect Treasury would be left with very limited resources that would be depleted quickly. America would default for the first time in history. The full faith and credit of the United States would be impaired, and our country would likely face a financial crisis and economic recession as a result.
She adds that a debt default would cause delays to the Social Security checks of nearly 50 million people and lead to uncertainty about when troops would get paid. School board meetings in Carmel are going virtual until further notice. The district says it's not about social distancing, it's about limiting disruptions. The district posted a community message specifically citing Monday's meeting, where it says an outside group deliberately orchestrated multiple disruptions during the business portion of the meeting and began booing and name-calling when the board tried to recess. Group members claim board members work for the parents and that they're trying to silence parents. Carmel-Clay leaders say meetings do have opportunities for public comment and board members shouldn't be subject to mistreatment. So at Monday's meeting, the video is not on Carmel School's website. The message from the school board goes on for 12 paragraphs, though, describing how certain parents have shared misleading videos, claiming some teachers are forcing students to wear masks, and falsely claiming the district's mental health coordinator wants to defund the police. It says some teachers have received threatening letters at their home addresses, and that other parents have received mailers from these groups with false information about the district. The message says some believe the loudest in the room or those with the most media attention will win an argument in today's charged climate. We are here to serve the 16,000 plus students of Carmel-Clay schools. In a district as large as CCS, disagreements will occur. However, we will no longer allow our board meetings to be a means to divide our community. This message came out yesterday, and so far the reaction to it has been mixed. Those who support the parent group call the board members cowards and the letter propaganda. They're resharing video of the actual meeting, indicating it shows how administrators are silencing parents. The next board meeting is a special session on Monday, and it will be live streamed instead of in person. The district says it will regularly reevaluate the need for live streaming. And this morning, we are putting rumors to rest. Top medical experts joined Wish TV during our Vaccine Central town hall. Topics like vaccines, boosters, children, and misinformation were all discussed. Several of our experts addressed misinformation as a public health crisis. Dr. Ramuletti with Community Health Network explained it this way.
Every single day we have over 2,000 people dying. That's like 4 jumbo jets crashing every day. That's like the World Trade Center, people dying every day. And the sad part about this, those are all avoidable. So we're seeing about 1,500 to 2,000 people dying every day. It is completely avoidable. That's why it's a public health crisis. And that's why I strongly support mandated vaccines, because we have a way to prevent deaths.
Director of the Marion County Public Health Department, Dr. Virginia Kane, doubled down on recommending the vaccine for pregnant women. She says the COVID-19 vaccine does not cause miscarriages or make a person less fertile. You can hear the full conversation on our website right now, wishtv.com, then click on this story in the As Seen on Wish TV section. A traveling art exhibit called Faces Not Forgotten is honoring young victims of gun violence. It highlights several children lost to gun violence in Indiana. News 8's Sierra Hignite explains how the artist hopes to honor those lost and help their families remember them.
The walls of the Cultural Art Gallery at IUPUI are covered in the faces of young people who have died because of gun violence.
We know that the statistics are there. We are losing 8 children in that age group every single day to gun violence.
On the center wall, 8 portraits of faces from Indianapolis, a city on track to break yet another homicide record.
You become immune to it. It's just another morning report, like the traffic report.
The Faces Not Forgotten exhibit hopes to continue the legacy of the people behind the portraits.
It gives faces to the names. It makes real people out of numbers. We have to get past the head count, and we have to look at the people, the individuals, the children, and all of the people they leave behind, whose lives are devastated forever.
Pastor Jackie Jackson with Everytown for Gun Safety knows all too well the impact gun violence can have on a person.
I was shot at 10 years old by a trusted neighbor. My oldest son was shot 37 years later in the back with a shotgun, and he lived.
He wants to prevent families from going through what his has.
I've seen what it does to families right there when it first happens and later on down the road.
People behind the exhibit hope that when you see these faces, you're reminded of the innocent lives taken simply for being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
These lives, each one is a life, a single individual, and you hear the numbers and you can't quite put your head around numbers. So as an artist, my job is to tell that story.
I'm Sierra Hignite for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
And a 13-year-old boy is in custody this morning after a shooting in a Tennessee school. That's according to Memphis police. It happened at a K-8 elementary school in Memphis yesterday morning. Right now, a second 13-year-old boy is recovering at a local children's hospital. According to the school superintendent, the child was shot inside a stairwell. Police say both the accused shooter and the injured teenager are students at the school. One grandparent went to the school to pick up her student after the violence.
They notified us on text that something was going on. And that's the good thing about it. They let us know something was going on, They didn't leave us in the dark.
The police chief says the suspect is expected to be charged with criminal attempt of first-degree murder. A local TV station there in Memphis says the school is open today. And this morning, investigators are trying to determine how a man died after trash service employees found his body. The discovery was made yesterday morning at the Ray's Trash Service Transfer Station in Indianapolis. It's near 56th and Mithofer. Investigators believe the body was in a collection vehicle, but they don't know where the man came from. Police are calling the case a death investigation right now. They have not released the victim's name or age. And this morning, we're getting a clearer picture of what Brian Laundrie did after he came home to Florida without his fiancée, Gabby Petito. The FBI returned to Laundrie's home yesterday. The family's attorney says agents collected a variety of items, including some of Laundrie's personal belongings. Investigators say Laundrie returned home from the West without his fiancée September 1st. Then, a week later, went camping with his family for 3 nights in Florida. Family members say they last saw him a week after that, September 14th. The arrest warrant for Laundrie is for credit card fraud, but authorities have made it clear they want to talk to him about Petito's death as well. Some mail starts moving slower. The Postal Service is changing its procedures, and officials say it will affect about 40% of its first-class mail. Cards and letters going longer distances may take longer to get there. The Postal Service says local first-class mail will still be delivered in 2 days. Starting Sunday, some prices will also rise. The Postal Service calls it a temporary holiday price hike, ranging from 25 cents to $5 a package. The changes last through December 26th and affect Priority Mail Express, and first-class packages. To Colts breaking down Brissett, the team says it knows what to expect when Jacoby Brissett takes the field against them in the Dolphins' jersey on Sunday. Brissett played 3 seasons with the Colts. Last Sunday, when the Dolphins played the Las Vegas Raiders, Brissett led a 13-play, 82-yard drive to tie the game in the final few seconds. His former teammates say he can play and talk.
He's by far one of the biggest competitors that I ever, played against. And, I think this week, I talked to him last night for probably like 30 minutes, just catching up. So I know what he's planning to do. I know he's going to talk trash. So, just got to go out there and have fun and hopefully shut him up.
The team travels to Miami for Sunday's game, and kickoff is set for 1 o'clock. The action starts earlier, though, with Wish TV. We'll have a full hour of pregame coverage live from Florida starting at 11 Sunday morning. So be sure to watch the countdown to kickoff right on Wish TV. And we have a look at the menu for Carmel's annual Christmas Festival. The city is revealing Christkindl Market highlights. Doner kebabs are much like a German gyro, with meat cooked on a vertical spit, then put in a wrap. Kartoffelpuffers are potato pancakes. Springly cookies are shortbread cookies with a design in the dough. Carmel says each one is an example of a popular German treat. This year's market is set to open on November 20th. Of course, there are many more treats to experience there. These are just some of the new highlights. And to business headlines, there are reportedly flaws that allow a hacker to steal money from a locked iPhone. Security researchers announced findings surrounding a vulnerability with Visa cards, specifically when a Visa card is set as a default card for Express, Transit, and Apple Pay on the iPhone. Apple said the fault lies in Visa's system and that any unauthorized payments are covered by Visa's zero liability policy. The Federal Communications Commission proposed new regulations for phone companies that transmit calls from overseas into the United States. Officials say such companies are responsible for a substantial portion of robocalls, which often originate outside the U.S. Overseas robocalls have been one of the things making it so hard to stop. Apple's big iOS 15 update for iPhones lets you invite Windows and Android users into your FaceTime calls. It's the first time that's been possible. Previously, FaceTime calls were limited to people using iPhones, iPads, and Macs. All you do is send them a link that they can open in a web browser to join the call. And the 12-foot Home Depot skeleton is selling out at Home Depot ahead of Halloween and going viral on TikTok. People are scrambling to buy the skeleton, and some are listing for triple the original price on eBay. The massive skeleton has LED eyes that light up to watch passerbys. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.